All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, everything seems normal. So let's go to the meeting again.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it blow up inside you. Take it out. That's too fast. Never mind, we're getting off track. What were we supposed to do? Go to the office.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I know where I want to go this time. There. Please get to the bedroom. Oh, we can go to the bathroom. Okay. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crime isn't... What? I try again. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. So touching. Extreme bedrooms. Time. That's awesome. This game is really well thought of. Here? Okay, another room. An elevator. Maybe next time. I want to see
Stepping
where
into
the
his
escape
manager's
part is
office,
going.
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean?
2, 8,
Stanley wondered
4,
aloud
5.
to nobody. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't
I'm in a
healthy,
bit of a hurry
so
here,
he relaxed
so
for
sorry.
a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Nice.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
So I want to try the escape route this time. Loading.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yeah. Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Perhaps.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I will do what I want. And I want to escape. But maybe you're right and I'm gonna die, so... Yeah. What the hell?
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yeah. I'm a pessimist. A pit? Yay! Jump in it. We died? I expected something more glamorous, perhaps? Yeah, we're still dying. Right. Oh.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, it reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
I always wanted to be a pancake.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator,
No,
as Stanley
I'm
was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Alright. I will survive. Oh yeah. I will survive.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Nice.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
What's the meaning of life? What's the meaning of this game? Is this all real? Or are we in the Inception world? Alright. What we do next? Credits. Alright, let's go there. Maintenance room. An early version of the maintenance room. Okay. Something here. This game is awesome. Okay. It's so mindfucking and not confusing, but really fresh in a way, you know. The apartment timer. Meeting room. So, this was all planned, and I'm just a rat in this giant maze. That's cool. Sending levers. Okay. The game is now paused. So this is like where they made the game. There must be a shutting button.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Yeah.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one
No,
another?
it's dark. I can see it.
Perhaps not.
Nothing?
Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Because it's dark, perhaps?
But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before
Seriously?
they both fail.
Again?
Push escape and press
Nice.
quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Ouch. That hurt. Alright, so we start over and over until maybe the possible endings end, or I don't know. We'll see. But so far the game is really interesting and really thought about. I mean, the developers really put their minds to it to make it interesting and new in a way, which is awesome. It's definitely more interesting than a straightforward game when you just go to the end, kill the boss and you win. This is really a mind-fucking inception type of game. Alright, this loading screen takes longer than usual. I don't think this is the end of the game. Or is it? Maybe not. Alright, we wait. And we wait. As Stanley stood in an empty room with the lights off. Okay. Does the game broke, or what happened here? Or does the game itself want to make us think that the game is broken? Isn't that the question? Or, put it simply, the game really is broken. And it's over. Or not. I have time. I'm gonna stay here and wait to see what happens. Okay. And I'm waiting for the game to start over. Yeah, I'm waiting for the game to start over. Game is paused. Okay, resume the game. Maybe the game want me to press begin the game again, or I don't know. Let's press begin the game again. This game is, I don't know, getting confused. It's awesome. I should stop saying awesome. It sounds stupid. So...
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's go to the meeting room. I really don't think the game is over and we start over. I think there are more possibilities and choices.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I wanna go downstairs this time.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Steal a broom closet. Okay,
Coming
we're
to a
going
staircase,
down.
Stanley walked upstairs to his
No.
boss's office.
No, we are going down. Something here, something. Nothing. Okay.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss,
I just
admitting
couldn't
he had
resist.
left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed
Fine, going in
everyone had
circles.
vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Maybe.
All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close
That's a pretty good
automatically
question.
behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue.
I'm
He
dreaming.
just hadn't found the words for it.
That's
I'm
right.
dreaming! He
I
yelled.
knew it.
This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself,
just need
I
to wake
suppose
up."
I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he
That's
remaining
so
so
cool.
lucid?
Oh, no,
And
I
then
wanna
perhaps the
start
strangest
again.
question of them
Damn.
all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it
Inception.
particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very
Yeah, I
odd
must be
and
crazy.
wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
Maybe I took
Stanley
mushrooms.
is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin,
Wake up,
the
dude.
press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Nah. Nothing.
Stanley
happens.
began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, voice? Just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
So, I died. And did the game ended? Maybe not.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
I really want to go through the window.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Alright, let's go again through the door. So we died and we respawned. Or maybe...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Or maybe we were dead all along. Maybe we're dead now? Maybe.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, let's go again.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway.
No.
Quelle surprise.
You go here. No. Okay, so again, we go down the elevator. And then... I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll try some of the buttons in the big room there where we were the first time. Because I'm sure if now I try the exactly the same thing I did
Stanley
the
walked
first
straight
time.
ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I'm sure that this time it won't be the same. But let's try and see.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control?
So far,
Never.
it's exactly the same as
It
the
was
first time.
unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the
I'm
world?
sure we can do something different this time.
But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or
Let's try
content,
pushing
walking,
buttons around.
eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Okay, that's
For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
For what? I'm sure we can do something here, but the question is what? Maybe this time we can push the right button? Still not. Okay. Wait a moment. This button right there was labeled 4. Maybe if we press them, yeah, one by one. Where's number 3? Where is number 3? No, this is 5. Okay. And this is number 3. Okay, now we're looking for button number 5, which was there. Okay. And surprise, surprise, nothing happened. Okay, let's go and push the button, the shutdown button again. I really doubted that it would be the
And
same.
when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty,
I forgot
his
about
obligation, to put an end to this horrible place.
I forgot
Oh,
about the other
Stanley,
option.
you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yeah, I'm selfish.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb
Maybe
goes
now
off.
we must
But what precious
press the
moments
button
each one of them
in the right
is.
order.
More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
No.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
The next?
My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Yep.
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless, to see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
You're a sadist.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
After? So now we start over again, I presume. Okay, we wait. Actually, can we do something from the inside? Okay, now.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Yeah, that's odd. I still want to go through the window. Never mind. Okay, we're going again to the meeting room.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Let's go down again. I think because we already done this
But
scenario.
Stanley just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense.
Is this
And as
repeating
Stanley pondered
again?
this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Yeah, I think this is repeating.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
I
No,
thought if
Stanley
you
said to himself, this is all
do
too
the events
strange. This
again,
can't be real.
something different
And
got
at
happened,
last,
but
he came
apparently
to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He
it's the
just
same.
hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his
Okay.
job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself,
So,
I
we were
suppose I'll
already
wake up
here,
soon.
and,
I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job
I'm
pushing
trying to
buttons.
think
I
where
may as well enjoy this
we
while I'm
could
still
go next.
lucid. So, he imagined himself flying. And
Should I begin the game again? Or okay, I'll wait
began
a
to
little bit
gently
more.
float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun,
What if I
and
wait
Stanley
this time?
marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid?
Okay, it's the same. Let's see it this time. Maybe this time around things will be different.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Tink, tink.
When
Where
Stanley
did I
came
not
to
go?
a set of two open...
against the
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly
Yeah.
well. Perhaps he
think I
wanted to stop by the employee
Didn't try
lounge
all the
first,
options
just to
on the
admire
right
it.
door.
Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Yes, I remember now. We weren't here. Okay, that's
Stanley
new.
was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Warning: do not jump from the cargo lift while it is motion. What? While it is in motion, will cause death. Okay.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot.
Okay,
here.
that's new.
I'm not
Nice.
your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult.
Should we
but the
jump
fact
here,
is
or-
that the story
Yeah,
has been
let's
about.
jump.
What? Really? I was in
Yeah,
the middle
well.
of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I
yeah.
want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something
Nice, another
beautiful.
option.
Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important.
Okay.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Right.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
No, Stanley walked through the blue door.
I still don't think we're communicating properly.
Come on.
Stanley walked through the red door.
I'm kind of a colorblind Colorblind. That's a new word. Stanley is kind of a colorblind.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley.
Person.
You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
I'm gonna give it a 5.
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
I'm so excited. What? The Stanley Parable worldwide leaderboard. What? Good old Neo. Both fiction, okay. Where am I? You're mean. Okay, let's go again.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
I'm gonna try with 3.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. Burn. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see.
That's not such a bad idea.
Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
This game is keeping me excited. I have no idea what is going to happen now. Or what game we're gonna play. Minecraft!
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is
Seriously?
it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here, no, here, and then...
That's incredible.
Let's see, what does it need?
Wow.
Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. But you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
Let's hide from the creepers.